Hi everyone, so my name is Amra and I'm the co-founder of Accelerating Asia. So I have a bunch of notes here because Nimrod has given me a bunch of things to talk about to you. Sorry I can't be there with you. I think this would be probably a bit better in person, but video is just as good. So a little bit about myself. I actually studied at UQ. I did my Bachelor of Business Management there, majoring in International Business, and then I also did my Bachelor of Arts, majoring in International Relations. UQ was, highlight, of course. For those who are staying in college, I stayed at International House for a good couple of years and had some really great memories there. So after I graduated at UQ, I ended up doing some agency work, so working with some big brands like Coty, Chanel, some alcohol brands as well, which is really great when you've just graduated and free makeup, fragrance, and alcohol is something that's really valuable. After a couple of years of working in the agency, I decided that I wanted a change in career, and I ended up finding myself in Singapore. So in Singapore, I was working with the UN here, running their global social entrepreneurship program in partnership with MasterCard. So we looked for entrepreneurs all around the world, creating change for women and girls in some way through business. We would fly the top 25 to Singapore, work with them through a boot camp, pair them up with funding, mentors, and everything to kind of accelerate them on their journey. After doing that for a couple of years, I ended up taking a little bit of a break, kind of deciding what I wanted to do next, and was doing some freelance consulting work. I also ended up finding myself back in Brisbane, probably sitting where you are right now, working with Nimrod at UQ Idea Hub. So I don't know, maybe I know some of you, maybe I'm a familiar face to some of you. So that was a really great experience working with lots of different students on their ideas as well. I ended up getting an opportunity to join the Marudi team. So Marudi are the startup accelerator backed by Telstra, and made my way back to Singapore to head up community and operations for the Singapore program here. So halfway through last year, myself and the entrepreneur in residence, who's Craig Dixon, decided that we wanted to spin out a new entity and run an accelerator program. So that's what Accelerating Asia is. So there are three parts to what we do. The first, Accelerating Asia, is a consulting business. So we work with governments, multinationals, some universities as well, on how they engage with startups. And that could be, an example is working with the landing pad program. So Austrade run the landing pad program, bringing Australian startups over to Singapore and other parts of the world. We provide an entrepreneur in residence to that program. We run the workshops, we do all the masterclasses, and we connect the startups that come through into the Singapore ecosystem. We connect them with our mentor partners, our investor partners, and help them expand into the region. Another example of programs that we run are multi-year accelerator programs in partnership with government and multinationals. And so that could be sector-specific programs or stage-specific programs where they look at startups at a different stage, at a specific stage. The second part to what we do is we run the Asia Accelerator. So the Asia Accelerator is the region's only independent startup accelerator program. So what does that mean? That basically means similar to how 500 startups and Y Combinator work, there's nothing really like that here in the region. So we recruit startups from around the region, we take them through our program, we invest in them, and we are not backed by any corporate, which means that our startups and our startups' interests and our interests are hopefully more aligned, because if they succeed, we succeed too. The third part of what we do is we have a fund, so Accelerating Asia Ventures, and this is the fund that we use to invest into the startups that we accelerate. So that's kind of everything that we do. I will also be helping run this program here that you'll be applying to in Singapore. So if you come to Singapore, we'll get an opportunity to meet. And what you can expect when you come to Singapore are, well, lots of different startups. We'll be matching you with all the startups that we work with. And it would be really great to hear from you about the things that you're interested in and the areas that you would like to develop during your time here, because we have startups from all different industries, all different stages of companies, ranging from seed stage up to Series B. And then I guess the startups that we work with come from every industry. We have AI, blockchain, cybersecurity startups. We have hardware startups, of course. SaaS startups too. They come from all over the world. We have Russian startups that we're working with, Australian, of course, through Austrade. We have Southeast Asia, so Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, and places like Pakistan and Bangladesh. So Singapore as an ecosystem is a really, really busy ecosystem. There's lots and lots of things happening here. It's a hub for the region. So what happens is startups that are kind of looking to take it to the next level must come to Singapore at some stage. All the businesses are here, all the multinationals are here, all the governments have a presence here and are looking to work with startups here. And also all of the investors, all the major investors are based out of Singapore. So at some point, all startups must come to Singapore or at least have a presence here. What you can expect from Singapore, I mean, it is one of the cleanest, safest places in the world. They kind of call it Asia Light here, which basically means there's a mixture of Western and Asian cultures and influences. You can get, your Tim Tams, your Vegemite, all that kind of stuff here, but then you also get all of the Asian cultures and foods and influences here too. I guess the population here, there's Chinese, Indian, and Malay that are kind of native to Singapore, but there's also a lot of expats here because of its position as a hub to the region from all over the world. There's actually a really strong Australian community here, which I'm sure that you will tap into when you arrive. I guess the other part of Singapore is the social side to it, which is, I think, just as important as the working side. I'm some of my best contacts and business deals through, just literally sitting next to someone at a bar. Not sure how much Nimrod wants me to talk about the social side of things, but really, there's a great place to party, lots of festivals and things happening here. The art culture, music culture is huge here. There's a lot of different museums, a lot of exhibitions that come through Singapore as well. So you will definitely be busy. I guess one thing that I have to mention as well is the food. So if you don't already know, Singapore is the place for food. You get absolutely everything here. You can eat local food from, $3 a meal up to some really famous international Michelin star places for $100 a meal. It depends on your budget, I guess. So yes, that's Singapore. I think it's a really exciting place to be. There's so much happening here in the startup ecosystem, and we're going to make this program as exciting and full as possible for you. We've got a number of exciting things planned. We will be doing a lot of events with investors. We'll also be running a cohort at the time, so you'll get to meet some of the startups that we accelerate and see what our program looks like. You'll also get to meet some of the corporates that are operating in the innovation space here as well as the governments that are doing that too. You'll get to meet some social enterprises, some really different types of startups solving different problems that you probably wouldn't see in Australia. And if the timing is correct, it looks like we'll be running our demo day at the same time. So we'd love for you to come and join us at demo day, see what our startups look like when they're all polished, have a couple of drinks, meet some of our partners as well, and really get a feeling for what the startup ecosystem is like here. So I think I've said most of it. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. My name is Amra Naidoo, or you can shoot me an email, amra@acceleratingasia.com. Nimrod has my contact details too, so I'm happy to have a chat with you if you have any questions. In the meantime, I hope that you apply for the Singapore program and looking forward to meeting you here. Bye!